Today, I'm going to talk about 8 important cases in China's entertainment industry in 2017. These cases attract wide attention in China, and each of them had something to tell you about what is happening in China's entertainment industry. Okay, let's get to the first case. The first case is about a video game called Fantasy Westward Journey 2. It is developed by the plaintiff, NetEase, and the defendant is called YY. Okay, the full name of the defendant is not YY. It is Guangzhou Huaduo Network Technology Corporation Limited, and YY is a live streaming platform run by the defendant. I'll spare you the effort to go through this long name. Let's just call the defendant YY. Okay, the defendant YY was ordered to pay a record high 20 million yuan for live streaming the plaintiff's video game without authorization. First, let's get some background knowledge about the video game market. In 2017, the video game market reached a retail sales revenue, mainly the money game players paid for the time cards, tokens, and other virtual properties of 203.6 billion yuan, approximately 32 billion US dollars, representing a year-on-year growth of 23%. Wow! Streaming a video game is a new means of exploitation. The streamers play and stream the video games on the live streaming platforms. The most popular streamers can be paid tens of millions yuan by the live streaming platforms per year. In addition, they also benefit from the virtual gifts sent by the platform's users, advertisements, and other commercial activities. The live streaming platforms collect subscription fees from the users, share the virtual gifts users send to the streamers, and also benefit from the advertisements and other commercial activities. It is estimated that the total revenue of the video game streaming market will reach 3.25 billion yuan, approximately 530 million US dollars in 2018. As this new market thrives, the game developers would definitely not sit idle. They want to collect license fees from the live streaming platforms. Otherwise, they would stop the platforms from streaming their games. However, it is unclear whether the audio-visual display of the video games, as played by the streamers, constitute a copyrightable work of the developers. This case, ordered by Guangzhou IP Court, cheers the game developers up. NetEase, the developer of this big-hit video game Fantasy Westward Journey 2, sued YY, the live streaming platform, for streaming its game without authorization. Guangzhou IP Court decided that the audio-visual display of the video game constitute a copyrightable cinematographic work, and that YY violated NetEase's copyright by opening streaming windows and organizing streamers to stream the game without authorization. This is the third time that the Chinese court decided that the audio-visual display of a video game constitute a copyrightable cinematographic work. What makes this case even more special is the record high compensation of 20 million yuan. The compensation amount is contingent on the copyright holder's loss or the infringer's profits. NetEase chose to base its compensation on YY's profits. Unlike the US, we don't have the evidence discovery procedure in China. So, how did NetEase manage to prove YY's profits? NetEase used two calculation methods that are mutually collaborative. On the one hand, it found that YY's affiliated company, YY Inc., was listed in NASDAQ, and YY Inc.'s financial statement, as published by SEC, reveals a whole lot of facts. On the other hand, NetEase somehow managed to get a former streamer of YY on the witness stand. As a top 10 streamer recognized by YY, the streamer's income was also used to estimate YY's profits. The two calculation outcomes match each other and therefore provides a strong conviction to the court. In a newly published regulation in February 2018, it is that China will explore and establish evidence discovery procedure in IP litigations, which is certainly a good news for the right holders. They are held as a landmark case in the video game industry. This case could be merely individual. Game developers like NetEase and live streaming platforms like YY need each other. They work together to achieve a win-win situation. They won't make it to the court if they don't have to. According to the CEO of NetEase, the blasting fuse of this case is that YY inserted ads when streaming this game, and the ads led the users to another game of poor quality. After failed negotiation, NetEase had no choice but to bring a lawsuit. Despite this case, the NetEase CEO said they would work closely with the live streaming platforms with an open mind in the future. Video game streaming market is no longer in disordered competition. For example, DouYu, another giant live streaming platform, has reached agreements with major game developers such as NetEase and Tencent for copyrighted contents. For ambitious live streaming platforms aiming for IPO, copyright infringement lawsuits with content providers is certainly not what they want to see. Let's move on to the second case. The second case is a copyright infringement case in the OTT business. The defendant, Kaiboer, is an OTT box supplier. The plaintiff, CCTV, China Central Television, the state-owned TV station, found that Kaiboer provided its TV programs without permission. So, CCTV sued Kaiboer for copyright infringement. Kaiboer argued that it provided merely the OTT box hardware. The software that enables the display of CCTV's programs was installed by its general agency. Shanghai Pudong People's Court ruled that even if the software was installed by Kaiboer's general agency, Kaiboer knew and benefited from such behaviors. In fact, Kaiboer illustrated its OTT box live streaming, VOD, and playback functions on its own website. So, Kaiboer and its general agency should be jointly liable for violating CCTV's copyright of the TV programs. Kaiboer appealed to Shanghai IP Court, arguing that it provided merely the links to rather than the content of CCTV's programs. Shanghai IP Court reasoned that the OTT box provided CCTV's programs without jumping to any third-party website or showing any third-party sources. Without any contrary evidence, Kaiboer's argument could not stand. Thus, the trial court's decision was affirmed. In fact, this is not the first time that CCTV sued Kaiboer. In 2014, Beijing First Intermediate People's Court ruled in a similar case that Kaiboer should not be jointly liable with its another agency, because CCTV couldn't prove that Kaiboer conspired with the agency. This time, CCTV won its case with stronger evidence, showing that Kaiboer knew or should have known what its general agency had done. OTT over-the-top is an emerging business in China. It is estimated that by the end of 2017, the number of OTT devices approached 200 million. In 2017, the ads revenue on OTT devices reached 2.3 billion yuan, approximately $363 million. OTT, a content distribution practice bypassing telecommunications, cables, broadcasts, by no means equals to free content. The OTT suppliers should obtain the copyright before providing the contents to the users. In addition to the copyright issues, OTT suppliers are also confined to administrative permit. There are only 7 licensed operators in China, and the number is not likely to increase. The 7 licensed operators are the exclusive content sources for OTT services. Kaibar, for example, worked with Mango TV, one of the 7 licensed operators, for contents. The administrative restriction is an important reason why Netflix couldn't expand its OTT business into China and turned to cooperate with Chinese companies such as iQIYI. Netflix licensed its big hits such as Black Mirror, Stranger Things, BoJack Horseman to iQIYI, and iQIYI worked with one of the 7 licensed operators to run its OTT business in China. IP is definitely among the top words in China's entertainment industry in recent years. Investors buy out good novels, or so-called IP, and then build their commercial empires upon them. The authors of the novels, however, do not always work very well with the investors. We can see this from the third case. The third case centers on a novel series, Ghost Blows Out the Light. As the name suggests, it is a tomb-raiding novel written by one of the defendants, Mu Yezhang. About a decade ago, when not many people had heard about IP in China, Mu Yezhang entered into agreements with the plaintiff, Xuan Ting, licensing Ghost Blows Out the Light 1 and 2 to it. The agreements made it clear that Mu Yezhang should no longer use the phrase Ghost Blows Out the Light in his new novels. But the agreements didn't say anything about the characters in the novels. Xuan Ting then started building this IP. With Xuan Ting's promotion, the novel series became a huge success. I can't say it's as successful as Harry Potter, but most young people in China had heard about the novel series. Xuan Ting then licensed the third-party Wanda to build a movie, Mojing the Lost Legend, also known as The Ghouls, based on Ghost Blows Out the Light 1. Wanda owns the complete copyright to the movie. There's some background knowledge about our civil procedure. In our civil procedure, there is a party called the third party. The third party is neither the plaintiff nor the defendant, but it has something to do with the case, so it can also join in the procedure as a third party. Mu Yezhang's passion for tomb-raiding novels didn't fade away with his ownership of copyright. He wrote another tomb-raiding novel using the same characters in the novel series Ghost Blows Out the Light. He licensed the defendant publishers to promote the new novel. In promoting the new novel, the defendant publishers work closely with the third party Wanda, who is also promoting the movie at the same time. They used the posters and other elements of the movie in the book cover, invited the movie cast to endorse the book, and asked the audience to watch the movie together with the new novel. The plaintiff Xuan Ting was unhappy about this free riding. He sued Mu Yezhang and the publishers for copyright infringement and unfair competition. It claimed that Mu Yezhang violated its copyright of Ghost Blows Out the Light by using the characters in his new novel, and the promotion of the new novel constitutes unfair competition. Shanghai Pudong People's Court decided that the literary characters, when not constitute the story being told, are too abstract to be copyrightable. Mu Yezhang, as the author of Ghost Blows Out the Light, are free to use the old characters in his new novels. However, the promotion of this new novel with the permission of the movie's copyright holder, Wanda, misled the public into the confusion that the movie was based on the new novel, and that the new novel is a sequel to the successful novel series Ghost Blows Out the Light. So, the defendant publishers should stop this promotion, eliminate the ill effects, and make compensations to Xuan Ting. The court made its attitudes clear in this case. The authors enjoy the freedom of creation. This attitude is also shared by the Copyright Bureau. Mu Yezhang once wrote to Beijing Municipal Bureau of Copyright, consulting if he can use the old characters in creating new works of the same genre. The Bureau replied that even if the license agreement restricts him from doing so, such restrictions would be invalid. So long as the use of old characters do not constitute plagiarism of the expressions of the previous work, it would be fine. This case is hailed as the first fan art case in China. Actually, it is not quite about fan art, since the new novel is not created by a fan, rather by the original author. This case is significant, however, in the sense that it teaches a good lesson on how to work with the authors. According to Mu Yezhang, he was drunk when signing the first license agreement with Xuanting, selling Ghost Blows Out the Light 1 for merely 100,000 yuan, about $16 grand. He claimed that he had no idea of copyright business at that time, so Xuanting bought out his copyright at a surprisingly low price. This is the root of this case, as well as some other cases. For example, Mu Yezhang was unhappy about a movie based on Ghost Blows Out the Light 1. He sued for infringing his rights of integrity and failed. Now Mu Yezhang serves as the CCO, Chief Content Officer of Up Pictures, a production company, engaging deeply in the exploitation of his novels. This seems to be a workable mode between the money and the authors. The next case we're going to talk about is a series of cases between two internet companies, Tencent and Toutiao. In June 2017, Beijing Haidian People's Court made its decisions on 287 cases brought up by Tencent against Toutiao. Tencent is a tech giant that also provides original contents. It claimed to own the exclusive copyright to 287 works made for hire, which were scraped and displayed by Toutiao on its own portal. The court found Toutiao liable in all the 287 cases. Toutiao is a news aggregator that achieved huge success in a short time. Launched in 2012, this company was assessed $22 billion in August 2017. It is said that this company is seeking for another round of financing at the estimated value of $30 billion. How is Toutiao different from other news portals or news aggregators? Toutiao claims that it is not a news reporter, rather it is only a transporter. For one thing, it provides tremendous quantities of contents from numerous platforms. For another, it feeds users with personalized contents with the help of algorithm-based recommendation scheme. This content distribution mode is not without dispute. Aside from the copyright cases with Tencent, Toutiao is also sued by iFan, a news portal, for stealing its web traffic, and by Sina Weibo, a counterpart of Facebook, for stealing its user-generated contents. Toutiao is certainly aware of the underlying problems of its business mode and is taking proactive approaches to make changes. It is cooperating with major content providers for professional generated contents and invests heavily in developing user-generated contents, with a particular emphasis on videos and live streaming. By now, we've talked about 4 cases. I guess it is enough for today. Next time, I'll talk about the remaining 4 cases. See you next time.